What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today I want to share with you 5 TV shows or TV programs or TV things that prisoners watch undercover. You gotta throw that little S at the end of that, Joe. You got a little speech and... Now, we've done videos like this in the past talking about the type of TV shows that prisoners watch, shows that you wouldn't even imagine. And if you haven't checked out those videos, I'm gonna link probably my favorite of the 2 that we've done in the past down in the descriptions of this video. You definitely need to check that video out. I probably should have done the video a lot differently than the way that I did it. I did it like an entire sketch comedy routine. I've been to a few different places that only have like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, ESPN, Lifetime, TNT, like 3 different PBS channels. Who is watching PBS while locked up? Let's just be honest. Well, actually, I did. Bob Ross used to come on PBS, and that was one of my personal favorite shows, considering I was a painter while locked up. Not a lot of other prisoners were watching that, however. You gotta be careful while watching PBS while locked up. Guys might try to think that you're soft. So you better prove to them real quick, hey look, I'm watching Bob Ross, but I'm trained to go! But anyways, today we're gonna talk about something totally different. You know, we were kicking the bobo this morning over on twitch.tv/AfterPrisonShow. We do these Monday through Fridays. Definitely check these out if you haven't done so yet. And during these live streams, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that I share with you guys about what's going on behind the scenes with After Prison Show. But it was while I was doing this kicking the bobo this morning that this idea really presented itself. Now, these top 5 TV shows that prisoners watch undercover definitely pertains to the type of TV prisoners are watching on the low, late at night, when they're hoping everybody around them is trying to go to sleep. And they're hoping that they're going to be able to get them a little alone time so that they can... How exactly can I put this? When they're trying to get them a little alone time so they can... I swear, I think I just gave myself whiplash. But they're watching these type of TV shows hoping they can go on a prison date. And you know, some of what I'm going to share with you in this video you may have never heard of. You may have never imagined that prisoners could get access to this type of television. Or maybe you've actually gone on a prison date yourself to some of these programs that I'm getting ready to mention. You don't have to be embarrassed. You do not have to be embarrassed. I myself have gone on a few prison dates to some of these shows as well. It is what it is. But as with mentioning all that we have thus far, then what do you say we go ahead and dive? Sports is something that takes their mind off of everything else, the outside world. They don't have to think about what their girls out there doing right now. Watch it. Let's go, Patriots! Ain't nothing else happening when a football or basketball game is on. Head first into this absolutely disturbing video. Now, you know, some of these things, again, that I'm getting ready to mention, you probably have never heard of. I've got to keep in mind that, you know, some people, they just, for whatever reason, they've never heard of these things. So I'm going to try to give as much backstory to each of these as I possibly can. But I want to go ahead and get into this first TV show that prisoners watch, Undercovers. And you know what? This ain't even a show. This is an actual full-blown channel. And in fact, I'm not even sure if this channel exists anymore. I'm not even sure if it's still around. But what this channel is called is the Spice Channel. How do I best explain what the Spice Channel is? The Spice Channel is an adults-only type of a TV channel. If you can read between the lines of what I'm trying to say right there, adults only. That's the type of people who are going to be watching the Spice Channel. But you know, that's actually kind of a contradiction, because when I first learned about the Spice Channel, I most certainly weren't no adult, y'all. I was like 17 years old, just starting to let the G.I. Joes go. You know, I wasn't no go hard type of teenager. When I was 16, I was still playing with the G.I. Joes. I got no shit and Legos. It actually probably makes a lot more sense why it took me until I was in my 30s to actually become what I consider somewhat mature. But when I was 17 years old, I first ran across the Spice Channel. I was just flipping through the TV channels, and I ran across channel 97. That's what channel the Spice Channel was on when I was 17. And when I run across this channel, it's like squiggly lines. That's all it was. You couldn't see anything, but you most certainly could hear what was going on. And when I tell you could hear, as soon as I was flipping through those channels, 92, 93, 95, 96, 97, what are they doing behind them squiggly lines right here? I mean, it kind of sounds like they wrestling or fighting or something. I knew exactly what they were doing. And my God, when I first ran across the Spice Channel, it became probably my favorite channel ever, though I couldn't even see what was going on. In fact, if you would watch it long enough and listen, every so often you would get like 1 or 2 seconds of actually those squiggly lines kind of like separating, and boom, you get a little picture right there back to the squiggly lines after like 2 seconds. You know, it was the Spice Channel that taught me a lot about life. I never had that birds and bees conversation when I was coming up, but the Spice Channel actually was more so my birds and bees conversation. Well, the damnedest thing about it is, while locked up, when I first started getting locked up, I'll never forget this for as long as I live. I was in this jail, and there's a new side to the jail, and there's an old side to the jail. And you know, the new side's got some pros and cons, the old side's got a lot of cons, and not very many pros at all. In fact, if you were locked up in this jail, you more so wanted to be in the new side. You really did. However, while down in this old side, the one thing that was probably the only good thing about this was you had your own little individual cell. You were in there with your cellie, and every so often you would be able to get the TV turned on after the TV wasn't supposed to be on anymore. Because it would be like 11 o'clock at night, they would come in, cut the TVs off, they would lock us down in our cells, and that was supposed to be it. But you know, prisoners, guys who were locked up, they're pretty damn smart. And what I would see these guys were able to do is they would take the remote, they would keep it in the cell with them, the TVs were cut off, there wasn't no way that we were gonna be able to have that TV cut on. In fact, not only did they cut the TVs off, they took the power cord out of the TV. That was how they cut these TVs off. They would pull the power cord or flip a switch. I can't remember which one it was. It was either a power cord or a switch, but whatever it was, that cut that TV off, making that remote control no more good. Not until the next morning when they cut the TVs on. But again, prisoners are smart. They're smart, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, not every prisoner who's locked up is dumb. He might be dumb for the fact that he ended up getting locked up, he got caught, he ain't the smartest criminal. But I can tell you, the ingenuity behind guys who are serving time is tremendous. And I remember, you know, these guys would take newspaper, tons of newspaper. We got the newspaper every single day, and they would roll it up super tight. And what they would make, like 5 or 6 foot long poles. And what these poles were used for, if you rolled up enough newspaper and got it tight enough, you could make this thing pretty sturdy. But what they would use these poles for was to get that TV turned back on after the TVs were turned off. Now here's how it would go down. It would be like 10:50 at night. The guards would come in, they would cut the TVs off. They'd be like, locked down in 10 minutes. You know, that would give prisoners enough time to get their stuff together to get locked in the cell. And when the guards would come in and announce this, they would be behind another set of bars. You got the bars that separate the little walkway where the guards walk down. And then on the opposite side of that bars, you've got us in the little day room area, which is probably only like 6 or 8 feet wide. It's a long but narrow day room area, and then you got our cells that are right on the opposite side of that, which aren't very big at all. But when the guards would come in about 10 minutes before lockdown, telling us lockdown, cutting the TV off, it would be after they left to go on to the next cell, where these prisoners would pull out that newspaper fishing pole, and they would use that fishing pole to either plug the TV back in with a piece of tape or a sticker off of a deodorant, grabbing that damn power cord, plugging it back into the wall. I don't know how they were so good at doing that, or flipping that switch so that the TV would be back on, and we would leave that TV off. The guards would come back in around 11 o'clock, they would lock us down, they would do their little count, and then they'd be gone. Lights out, they're gone. And the guards could be all the way down the hall. But once we knew the guards were gone, we'd cut that TV back on, cut the volume down real low. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what channel that TV was going to. We weren't sitting there trying to watch reruns of Law and Order, folks. We were trying to get that TV on channel 97 through the squiggly lines, and that TV volume so low, you could hear a pin drop in it. You could hear, this is actually disgusting, but you could hear the guy in the next cell over breathing pretty heavily. Now, you know, you gotta imagine, when I'm first getting locked up and I'm seeing this whole thing play out, I'm not saying anything about this. I'm actually just sitting in my bed, I see the squiggly lines. I'm reminded of just a year prior when I first became familiar with the Spice Channel, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy. I can't believe we're actually watching the Spice Channel while locked up. You know, at first it blew my mind. I was green. I didn't really grasp the full reality of this situation until, I got to admit, I found myself knee deep in it. And what I mean by that is not only would they have that TV on and it would be on the Spice Channel, but you and your cellie, you would actually put a sheet up in the middle of the cell, you on one side, your cellie on the other side, and you're going to be partaking in some of that heavy breathing as well. Why am I talking about this? This is pretty embarrassing to be talking about, but you know, this is the nitty gritty. This is the stuff that they don't show you on those TV shows. This is what really be going down. And you know, after about 2 seconds of that heavy breathing, you'd be like, hey, Sally, I'm good. You good? Oh, you good? You were good 1 second ago? Wow, we've been locked up for way too long already. Hey, look, we can take this sheet. I'm going to bed. The Spice Channel has got to be, hands down, probably the #1 fan favorite of guys who are locked up who can get that channel. And it don't matter where you are, it don't matter the privacy, it don't matter nothing. When that Spice Channel comes on, it's like an unsaid rule. It's like something unspoken. That Spice Channel's on for one reason, and one reason only, and that's for some heavy breathing. You might as well look over there, because I'm gonna be heavy breathing at these bars. God, I'm so glad I'm not locked up anymore. Well, if you're still here and I haven't grossed you out completely, let's go ahead and move on to the second top TV show that prisoners will definitely be watching under them covers. Or not, maybe on the opposite side of a sheet from their cellie. And this is another one that a lot of you may or may not have heard of. This came on a channel called BET. That channel's still here, but I don't know if the show still comes on, but the show was called BET Uncut. Now, BET Uncut, this only came on at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You had to really stay up late to catch this show. And mind you when I tell you that all prisoners, if they knew we were going to be able to watch BET Uncut, they're going to be up. They're going to be up because we ain't got to watch this show through the squiggly lines. And this might as well have been like 4 or 5 levels below the Spice Channel, but we was actually able to see this. This was uncut rap music videos. And if you've never seen a rap music video, and you know, I haven't seen very many throughout my time as well, but one thing that I've learned from rap music videos is that for whatever reason, they usually tend to have a lot of what's referred to as booty clapping going on in those videos. I don't honestly know why that is. But on this TV show, BET Uncut, you're gonna see them little Junies clapping. Clap, clap. My Lord, that woman has got some muscles in her hind parts. Only came on at about 2 o'clock in the morning. If you were so lucky to catch this show, my God, it don't matter if you've never seen it before. It don't matter if that's what you fancy or not. You ain't even got to be a fan of no rap music. I done seen me some straight hee-haw country dudes stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning talking about, hey, y'all watching BET Uncut tonight? Who gonna be on there? They gonna have them Junie joints going like this. Oh, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be up for sure. I'll be there in the holler till that show come on, though. Don't matter if you're a fan of that type of music or not. You see that show come on at 2 o'clock, you still up watching that show. You're gonna be like, hey, Sally, hey, you good up there? You asleep? You sleeping? Sally. You know, I'm gonna stop doing that. That's probably pretty cringy. Let's go ahead and move on to the third show to make this list. You know, some of you may have never heard of this one as well. In fact, there's a good chance some folks have never heard of any of these. These might be absolutely shocking and surprising to some. And others, again, you've probably seen these, you've probably watched these. Don't be embarrassed because I'll be the first to admit, I've watched all of these, and while doing so, from time to time, yes, of course, I've been like, just the world we live in, folks. It's just the world we live in. It's a part of human nature. You don't have to be ashamed to admit these things, though I should probably be pretty shameful. But the third show to make this list was more of an infomercial. And you know, they had all sorts of different variations of this one particular type of thing. But the one that I want to tell you about is Girls Gone Wild. Have you seen the commercials for that show where it's like, it's a 30-minute segment? I know that. Why do I know that? But I do. It's like a 30-minute segment where they just keep showing you the same few clips over and over again. And after about the first 5 minutes, you know which clips are about to, you know that one clip is about to come on. And you like, hey, Bunky, you got some lotion up there? Can I borrow your lotion? Hey, Bunky. You know that one clip is about to come on. You've been seeing it for those first 5 minutes. You've got this thing like memorized in chronological order. You know what's coming on. The Girls Gone Wild infomercials. A guaranteed hit. I know that show's not around anymore. I think something happened with the host of that show, and I'm pretty sure he got locked up as well. And, you know, if I can remember correctly, I think they made so much money with that show idea, with that concept, that didn't the dude who hosted the show, like, buy a private island to, like, have party? I think he did something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did. They were making hella bank with that Girls Gone Wild series. You know why? Because them girls, they were going wild And you know, I want to move on just a little bit. I want to talk outside of the jail. Let's talk about in prison. Because, you know, just as you could watch these shows in the jail at some places, you could also sometimes get lucky enough where they would have a channel that would show one of these infomercials for Girls Gone Wild. You know what time it was coming on. You done set your alarm clock for it. It was going to come on in the middle of the night. You were going to wake up in the middle of the night just to be able to catch this. If you were lucky enough to be in an institution where you had your own private TV and you could get away with watching TV all through the night, boy, you were in there. You were in there. It didn't matter how much violence was taking place at that place. It didn't matter how crazy that place was. If you were at an institution that had the channels that most prisoners fancy, nothing else, man, it didn't matter what kind of food they were feeding you. Man, they got the worst food here. I've been beat up 14 times since I've been here. I only been here for 2 days. But man, they got Spike TV, and that's one of them channels where a Girls Gone Wild infomercial was most certainly going to be playing it at 2, 3, and maybe even 3:30. Around 4 o'clock is when they would like transfer over to some water purifying infomercial or something. You ain't going on no prison date to no infomercials like that. You ain't doing it. But again, it didn't matter about anything else that was taking place at that prison, what the food was like, what the atmosphere and the temperature and the environment was like of that place. It didn't matter. If they had those type of channels, you was in there. In there like swimwear. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4, and number 4 is going to definitely be a little more out there, but I can guarantee you it's going to yield the same type of results. Now let's just say hypothetically you're locked up and you know you can't find that Girls Gone Wild infomercial coming on tonight, and you can't find the Spice channel, they just ain't got it, and they ain't got BET because at a lot of prisons you're going to serve time at, this is going to be something crazy to think about. They don't have BET. BET is a channel, it's called Black Entertainment Television, and you're not going to have BET. You might not have CMT, you might not have VH1, you might not have MTV. And the reason why you might not have those type of channels, I honestly don't know. You know, I've been to prisons where they don't have BET, but they do have CMT. I've been to prisons that have BET, but won't put it on the regular TV. I don't know why that is. I guess, you know, they think that that channel causes problems. I honestly don't know, but I've definitely been to prisons where, you know, the music channels, they either have one and not the other, or they don't have any at all. You might only have like the religious channels that might show music videos every once in a while, and I can guarantee you ain't none of them channels showing you no type of uncut video. That was probably wrong on so many levels. But let's just say you're at one of these type of prisons and you can't find any of these type of TV shows that prisoners watch undercover that I've told you about thus far. Well, in those type of situations, you're going to know that if you do get a chance to watch TV on the late night, you might get a chance to see one of those party chat line commercials. And it might only be a 15-second, 30-second long commercial, but my God, you are going to photographically memorize everything that you see and hear in those 15 to 30 seconds.
Do you want to have some fun?
Oh my God.
I like guys younger than me, and I love guys older than me.
You may think I'm kidding, but it is legitimately that real. It is. Because when you're locked up, you're deprived of a lot of things, a lot of liberties and a lot of freedoms and a lot of things that you might take for granted. You definitely take for granted out here in the free world. And you are going to absolutely be going without those when you're serving time. And one thing in particular, maybe the top thing in particular that you're going without is the vajayjay. You definitely ain't getting none of that. You might get you some space vajayjay. I ain't even got a chance to tell you what that is just yet. But if anybody ever offers you space vajayjay, you better just say no. Say no. And you know, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure those type of commercials come on anymore. I can't remember the last time that I've seen a commercial for one of those party chat lines. Do those type of commercials still come on? Number 5 making this list of the top TV shows that prisoners watch under them covers is without question the Spanish channel. In fact, what was that girl's name who was just dating that dude FaZe Censor and then he broke up with that chick to play more Call of Duty? What? But just like with BET or the Spice channel, not every prison that you go to is going to offer a Spanish channel. In fact, if you get to a prison, one of the first things that you do when getting there, if you have your own TV, or even if you don't have your TV or they don't let you have your own TV, one of the first things that you're going to want to know, and this most certainly isn't going to be the absolute first thing, but during that first day getting to that new prison, without question, you're going to be wanting to find out what kind of TV channels they got there. You know, I can remember vividly during the 7 years that I served, I got kicked off of the level 1 prison, I ran my level up to a level 2, and when I got to that level 2 prison, I plugged my little TV in and I had to like load the channels or whatever you got to do to get the channels to come on. And I realized while doing that on that very first day, they had 77 channels at this prison. No other place I had ever been to had that many damn TV channels. Every other place had like 10, 15, maybe 20 at the max. This place had 77 channels. If I could have, I would have done all of my time at this prison. Even though this prison had a lot of gang activity and a lot of crazy stuff that was happening every single day. And of those 77 channels, my God, it was like the heavens have opened. Thank you, Jesus. One of the channels they had there was that Spanish channel, Telemundo. And for those of you who have never seen this channel, let me just tell you one thing. The females, the chicks that they got on this channel, my goodness, they are all like supermodels. In fact, just ask Faye's censor, he was dating one of them. I can't believe you broke up with that girl for a video game. Now again, the Spanish channel, this was a channel that was not going to be offered at every prison. It's not. But one of the main reasons why I feel like this channel was offered at this prison was because the Hispanic population on this prison was pretty damn high. In fact, there were more Spanish dudes at this place than there were white dudes or black dudes. And you know, for that, I was absolutely grateful. You know, almost every single show you see on Telemundo is like BET Uncut, minus the rap music video. And you know, though I could rarely ever make out what they were talking about on that channel, I want watching that show to pay attention to the words. Read between the lines. I was watching that show so I could be like... You know, I've shared with you in this video 5 of the craziest TV shows, channels, commercials that prisoners watch undercovers while serving time. But you know, I want to do you guys a solid. I want to share with you guys one bonus one. I got another one. I should have titled this 6, but 5 sounds a lot better. And this one is absolutely completely out there. But just got to be honest with you guys. If it involves females and it involves any kind of, I don't know the right word to throw into this, but if it involves them females, it rarely matters what the show's about. Hell, I've seen dudes go on prison dates. I mean, not actually watch them do this, but you know when the blanket's just looking like an earthquake over there. I've seen dudes go on prison dates to the QVC Home Shopping Network. But this bonus show that I want to throw in for you guys, this one came on locally. And you know, they probably have things like this all over the country. But here locally, they had 2 different shows that would come on late night. One of them was a country line dancing type of show. And the other one was just... it was really out there. And I'm gonna tell you about it in just 1 second. But this would come on like Friday or Saturday night, late at night. I think it came on at like 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 12:30. I don't remember. And at this prison, you know, we weren't even really allowed to have our TVs on after 11 o'clock. And I was in an open dorm at this last prison. So, you know, you got guards making rounds, and from the booth, they might see the light of your TV. But dudes didn't even care. Because on Friday night or Saturday, whatever day it was that this show came on, these 2 shows, dudes were watching these shows. And one reason in particular was because it was chicks dancing, and the other is because, you know, they were out in the club. One was at this place called Eagle's Nest, and the other was in some place in another city. I don't know the name of it. And while watching these shows, not only would dudes be going on them prison dates, but you know, it almost like either put them in the club. It was like a little escape from the time that they were serving, or maybe they might see their girl out there in one of these videos. Hey, what's Jenny doing in the Eagle's Nest, and why she doing the Kiki challenge? What did she told me she was at home? She told me she was at home and she gotta work tomorrow. Ain't that a way to find out that your girl ain't keeping it 100 with you, by seeing her on a Friday or Saturday night at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning on a country line dancing show where everybody else in the prison is either guaranteed to be watching that show or this other show that was called Grown Folks Dancing, y'all. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, nor ever find yourself in a situation where you locked up having to watch these top 5 TV shows that prisoners is watching under them covers. And make the most of every day. Peace!